Does America have an etheric body? I think we've established yes. America has an etheric body, and the etheric body of America is what we as individuals would think of as the etheric field of America. So when you're dreaming about America, you're basically interacting with America's etheric body. America's etheric body, it says, what does it look like and how can we help it? America's etheric body is, everything is within the context of this, what I call the divine dialogue. You can look that up on my knowledge base, divine dialogue, it's on there, which is the wave of intention from the creator, from the source of creation, up through the creation and then folding back again. So there's this cycle of creation that is constantly happening in every point in creation, everywhere, everywhere. And America's etheric body is kind of within the context of that cycle, is on an inward stroke like that. It's going in on itself. So it's not in the expanding out like I'm great, it's on the coming in part. And along with that inward dive, there's some purification always, because in order to dive back into the source of creation, one has to let go of all the extraneous bits, all the pieces that grip us and hold us into the relative level of creation. But it's also a flow, there's kind of a flow of bliss, because it's like going home, right? When we go back to source, it's like going home. So even though there's a letting go on the surface, there's also an attainment of ultimate fulfillment happening as well. And it's requiring, what we're doing as a collective, all we're doing is we're just focusing our attention on the etheric body of America. And as we do that, our attention nourishes and uplifts and upholds and creates wholeness. It establishes wholeness. It establishes that state of divine expression. So I'm just describing it. One of the effects of this inward stroke of the etheric body of America is sort of more self-sufficiency. So Americans are already quite self-sufficient in a lot of ways, but even more self-sufficiency is stabilizing. What's needed here, what I'm seeing, is we need some integration between the individual parts and the government as a collective, representing the collective. The parts in the whole. The parts in the whole need some support. Oh, it's the ego, right? Because this is what the ego is. The ego is a spectrum of sense of self between individual ego, I am only my physical body, nothing more, and universal ego, which is I am the totality. And this is your ego, my ego is all this spectrum from the point to infinity, from the individual to the universal. And the ego of America, it's undergoing some purification. And what that purification does is it routs out the stubbornness. It routs out the inflexibilities. It routs out, again, the same things as illusion and fear are clearing. And by clearing illusion, what we're doing is we're setting the stage for truth to establish. And that means truth. That means media. The media being more holistic in its presentation, right? Instead of just reporting just the symptoms and just the symptom, going down and what's the reason for the symptom. And for clarity for all the individuals in the country to be able to decipher what is a conspiracy theory right? And what's real, what's actually real. With the internet, it's super easy now for conspiracy theories to just like propagate, like they just come out speaking of something is manifesting, but we're not sure it's in line with cosmic intention, right? we need to get into the truth. So what needs to, as the illusion and the fear clear out of the ego, and that helps to create some pliability and some flexibility in the ego, so that even when symptoms appear on the surface, it's possible to pull back and to look at that, to witness that symptom from a place of stability and certainty, like that. Stability and referencing, and a place where one feels stable to reference absolute truth within. The source of creation is that home of pure knowledge and pure truth. And that spectrum, because there's that political spectrum, right? From the left to the right. And it's very, very interesting what's happening as the ego becomes more flexible and more pliable, so that the American ego is able to embrace its full potential, we could say. At the same time, the extreme tendencies which are born of small ego on both sides of the political spectrum are centralizing. Ooh, that's good for America. More moderate, more moderation, more moderate thinking, more balanced thinking. And more clear discrimination and recognition of what's absolute truth, what's pure truth, what's the real truth. And when we say real truth, what we mean is looking past the symptoms on the surface and going into what's really essential. What is the essential issue at hand? And one of those essential issues, I think we actually fulfilled earlier tonight in our healing, when we discovered that home of nourishment. Because really one of the issues, and I think this isn't just for America, this is for all the countries, is access to resources. That, we're all individually, we're all different. Our intelligence and creativity runs in different lines, but everyone deserves access to the resources that they need to evolve. And when we say evolve, we mean to be able to embody divinity fully, to embody your full potential. You need these resources. When we have these resources, and when the individual is full, becomes full in their own nature, in their own potential, and in their own sort of establishment or integration of divinity, then all the desires come. Then the desires come so easily and so effortlessly, right? It's like when the cup is full, then it just, all the things that we really want and we really need, those are the things that come. Thank you for the amazing question.